Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Fluctus Channel. When one thinks of the United States, the first thought that comes to mind is military power. The USA projects military power worldwide in support of its allies, but the logistics involved include large ships, trains, and impressive aircraft. This is how the U.S. Air Force transports its feared heavy armor by air. In 1961, the U.S. Air Force started looking for a manufacturer to plan and to build the heaviest cargo plane ever at the time. By 1968, the maiden flight of the Lockheed C5 Galaxy took place, meant to replace the Douglas C133 Cargo Master and complement the Lockheed C141 Starlifter. The C5 Galaxy was built with both forward and aft cargo doors. Because of the size of the aircraft, it was designed to lower its cargo hold, or kneel, so that it is 25.5 inches lower to the ground than during taxiing. Approximately 281,000 pounds of cargo can be carried by the C5M Super Galaxy. The upgraded version of the original C5. For comparison, this can include 2 M1 Abrams tanks, 6 regular-sized city buses, or 3 Chinook helicopters inside its cargo hold. In fact, the C5M's cargo hold is 1 foot longer than the first flight made by the Wright brothers in 1903, which was 120 feet. In the U.S. Army, the M109 A6 Paladin is the heaviest self-propelled howitzer, weighing 60,627 pounds. These armored vehicles were designed for the crew to easily fire its 155mm gun from within its spacious turret. Before 2 of these are loaded onto a C5, the crew first prepares the ramp to avoid damage from its tracks. Then, the loadmaster briefs the driver, and the troops on the ground support the loading event by guiding the driver. At this point, the aircraft is in its knelt configuration, making loading easier. Although Paladins are large vehicles, the M1A2 Abrams is still the heaviest vehicle in the U.S. Army at approximately 140,000 pounds each. The C5M can carry 2 of them. The JLTV, Joint Light Tactical Vehicle, is an armored vehicle designed to replace the Humvee in the U.S. Army. While lighter than the Abrams, they still have a substantial weight at 22,500 pounds. Once the 2 vehicles are loaded, they are secured with tie-down chains, since a shift in the center of gravity would be disastrous. AH64 Apache attack helicopters are an important component of the U.S. Army and play a role in almost all conflicts. The C5M can load up to 6 of these helicopters. Before loading the Apaches, they are prepared to take up less space by folding in their rotors. Once the rotors are folded away, the helicopters become much easier to load, especially with the help of one of the two cargo winches in the hold of the Super Galaxy. Once the loadmasters are happy, they report to the pilot. Many people do not know that even a C130 Hercules can be loaded into the massive cargo hold of a C5. In 2008, the Rhode Island Air Guard donated a C-130 to the New York Air Guard for training. After removing its wings, tail, and rear horizontal stabilizers, the C-130A fit inside the cargo hold of a C-5. The C-130 Hercules and the C-130J Super Hercules are still in use by the U.S. Air Force and worldwide. These light to medium transport aircraft have stood the test of time, flying since the 1950s. Seeing as the C-130 can fit inside a C-5, it is understandable that their payloads are much less. These transport aircraft are used for anything, from cargo lifts to airborne operations, and even as gunships. One of the regular missions of the C-130 is to distribute humanitarian aid. During the recent crisis in Palestine, C-130s were among the aircraft used to airdrop supplies to the besieged civilians. A C-130J can carry up to 6 463-liter pallets packed with whatever supplies are needed. Once the aircraft is over the drop zone, the loadmaster releases the cargo by pushing it out on rollers or using a drogue parachute to extract it. C-130s are so versatile that they are found in almost every aerial role imaginable. A special variant of the C-130 is the LC-130, which has been adapted to land on snow and ice using skis instead of its wheeled landing gear. These aircraft supply remote scientific and military outposts in Arctic or Antarctic regions. Thanks to the weight distribution caused by its snow skis, these aircraft can land anywhere on flat, firm snow. They are affectionately also referred to as ski birds. It takes a lot of teamwork and precision to load a HIMARS, High Mobility Artillery Rocket System, into a C-130 when it's icy cold outside. Because the ground is icy, soldiers must be careful not to acquire impact damage while they line up the vehicle with the ramp for the plane. In freezing weather, airmen must use special tools like heaters to de-ice the cargo and the plane's surfaces. Safety is very important, so the HIMARS must be loaded, considering slippery surfaces and frosting. LC-130s are also used by special forces like the U.S. Army Green Berets, which use these aircraft for various deployment methods, from paratrooping to insertion of teams using snowmobiles. Because of the steep incline of the ramp of the C-130s, snowmobiles are warmed up before they are loaded. They are also loaded backward so that they can egress rapidly after a tactical landing. They then carry out their mission and return to the LC-130 or use another means of extraction. Another staple of the U.S. Air Force is the C-17 Globemaster III. This transport aircraft is larger than the C-130, but smaller than the C5 Galaxy. Globemaster IIIs are versatile aircraft with the ability to land in austere conditions, perform airborne paratrooper drops, and deliver cargo and supplies employing airdrops. With a payload capacity of 170,900 pounds, the C-17 can airdrop up to 18 463-liter master pallets, or even palletized vehicles onto a landing zone. The C-17 has a range of 7,170 miles, making it ideal for both strategic and tactical missions. Thanks to its range and capability to airdrop supplies, the C-17 is capable of flying to classified locations to drop supplies to U.S. Navy submarines. Nuclear-powered submarines are limited by how much food they can carry, so this can extend a mission or patrol if required. Once the rendezvous RV is determined, the C-17 flies a secure route to the RV, and the submarine surfaces when it is safe to do so. At this point, the C-17 drops its payload so the stores land close to the submarine. The submarine alters course and picks up the cargo, while the C-17 flies off to its refueling point at the airbase. This way of resupplying submarines is also useful in cases where a medical emergency needs to be addressed. It may also be a situation where critical spare parts are required for the submarine or one of its systems. Once the submarine has been located, the loadmasters simply push the required cargo out of the side door. What seems like a simple mission to drop a single Humvee is actually a well-planned mission. First, the Humvee is secured on a special pallet, and shock-absorbing materials are placed to support its impact. The vehicle is loaded as palletized cargo using a K-loader and secured using tie-downs. As the aircraft nears the drop zone, DZ, the tie-downs are released, and on command from the pilot, the vehicle is expelled from the aircraft using a drogue parachute, which then deploys the cargo parachutes. The vehicle is protected against impact by the slow descent and the shock-absorbing material used in its packaging. In the U.S. Air Force, the C-5 played a major role in expanding the strategic capabilities of the U.S. military. Alongside the C-5, the C-130J and C-17 have served with distinction as well. Each aircraft brings its unique capabilities to U.S. military power projection. That's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any of our new content. See you next time.